Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome into episode 9 of the Evan Parker Coaches Show. I'm very glad today to be joined by one of my favorite guests that I will get into introducing here in just a second. I'm sorry about last week. The trip to Arizona was a pretty busy one, very productive workout with the Arizona Diamondbacks. We had some of our players down there. Chris Sargent had a very good showing, ended up hitting a bomb in the simulated game, and it was a really good experience. So sorry about last week. Glad to be back in the studio with Kev. But as I mentioned, I'm very glad to be joined by my absolute best friend in the world. He is more considered to be my brother. I'm with Kevin Blanco, aka Kaden London, with me today. Thank you for joining me, brother.
Of course.
I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for this guy. He's kept my head screwed on straight, and he's always been there for me. And we will get into. We'll get into our dialogue here in just a minute. My first announcement today is I want to, in the beginning, we were kind of seeking a sponsor for the Evan Parker Coaches Show, and I am very glad, proud, honored that Kevin Johnson and I have come to a personal and professional agreement that he is going to be the official sponsor of the Evan Parker Coaches Show. So, Kev, I just want to thank you for everything, man. Thank you for everything that you've done for my career and what you do for the Raptors. And quite honestly, we got the best media guy in the game. The way that you just don't see the pictures, you don't see the content, you don't see this quality of setup really anywhere besides at the highest of levels. So we are very lucky to have you, and thank you so much for your sponsorship of the show. And let's keep rolling these things out, man. So thank you so much. That's my first announcement. So, getting back to talking with Kaden, last week we had, 2 weeks ago, we had Hannah and Mason in here. And part of that was that I wanted to have two people in that are kind of behind the scenes that maybe not everybody sees what they do on a day-to-day basis. And Kaden, since I have got this job as the manager and even going back to being the pitching coach, but especially as the manager, Kaden has been an assistant. And I wanted to let you know that this year I will have you listed on the roster as an official assistant coach. Kaden is a very busy man. He's a family man, so it's tough for him to get on the road with us, but when we're at home, he's with us every day, helps with batting practice. The biggest help that he gives me is with the charts. He understands the game. I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. How many bullpens do you think you caught for me in my life? Kaden was my bullpen catcher growing up. He was my catch partner from high school all the way through pro ball. And my number is somewhere, it's got to be in the thousands,
Yeah,
I would think.
that was my guess.
Yeah.
1,000 plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we think back to starting in, 2009, 2010, like consistently, we're going down to Jeremy Lambert, former big leaguer with the Cardinals. Kaden was our bullpen he was catching all of our pitching lessons back then. And then from then on, we just kept rolling, dude. And so we've probably put in the 10,000 hour rule with each other alone. So, this is a case with Kaden where, he played in high school, didn't play in college, but this dude knows the game. And I want to talk to you about your own perception of why do you think you understand the game so well? Because I'm objective about having guys around me that actually understand the game. This isn't a handout to have my best friend come hang out in the dugout with us. This is a guy that can give me legitimate feedback on what's going on gameplay management wise. He understands situations. He understands the player side of it. In your own perspective, what do you think it is?
For me, probably the biggest pickup as far as like game knowledge comes from being a catcher.
Sure.
On-field coach, being with you guys always, you're coaching, the guys that you were pitching with, picked up tons of stuff, always been a student of the game and literally love it, live for it.
Yep. And you traveled out, you visited every place I went to college. You came down, you watched me play when I was with the Brewers. And there was actually a couple of times where I was actively pitching in a game and Kaden was he knew my mechanics well enough to be able to tell me, I'm collapsing on my backside, or I'm losing my front side, or I'm falling off to the first base side. And I mean, this dude truly knows the game. And another thing that I wanted to talk about is just the fact that baseball is like anything. It's something that it takes hours, years to be able to observe, to understand, because there's a nuance to the game. There's a flow. You have to understand, the first third of the game, the second third, the last third of the game. And I truly lean on these guys, as far as having Ed and Mason and, having Dennis and Jackson around me now. But this guy, he knows my brain about as well as anybody. And when I say that I don't know if I would be here if it wasn't for this guy, that is not a lie. So just thanks for keeping me on the tracks all these years, dude.
Of course.
Love
you, brother.
Yeah, I love you too, man. So, Kaden is going to be, as I mentioned, listed as an official assistant for me this year, which you totally deserve. And I mean, once you get in that clubhouse and get your name printed on the back of the jersey, it's
cool. It's an honor.
It's legit, man. So, anyway, got a couple announcements really fast. We got 2 signees in the works. I was on the phone with Dave earlier today. We're looking at bringing in a utility player and another pitcher that was sent to us by Nick Belmonte. So I'll have announcements on that. I will have one more episode before I have to head back to Arizona. I want to mention again, this will be the second to last time, but really probably in a feasible way, this is the last time I can mention it, that guys can get down to this workout in Arizona. And the Pioneer League tryout is in Arizona, the 15th through the 17th, Salt River Fields. Okay. Register for that thing. If you are hitting me up and trying to get me to take a look at you, obviously, I'm interested in any guy that wants to reach out to me, but this is the best opportunity for players. I'm trying to think about guys in terms of opportunity and what is best for your career. This gives me and every single team in this league a chance to see you, and it also gives you the ability to be that 26th guy, which to me is the best thing, one of the best things that this league does, because when you come into camp, you're essentially if that team is going to carry 26 guys, you're only really competing against that guy who's in that 26 spot. And that's an advantage for guys that go to tryouts. So make sure you register for that. I will announce it again next week on the 11th, but that's going to be 4 days out. So, unless you're down there, if you're making travel plans, get on it right now. And I look forward to seeing you guys down there. Next week, I am going to be joined by one of my best pitchers, who's also a Utah kid, Sean Triplett. He formerly pitched at Grand Canyon and had a absolute killer year for us last year. He's going to be a dude that's going to come in here, and I know what he's going to do. Guy has elite stuff. His metrics are crazy. Great heartbeat on the mound, threw in the no-hitter game for us. So look forward to having Sean in studio with us next week for episode 10. Kev, thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Of course. Thank you.
Other Kev, thank you so much for your sponsorship, everything that you do for me, and I'm honored to have you in my corner. So again, let's stay on the hashtag, Raptor Claws Up. You know what it is. Okay, until next week, I love you guys, and go Raptors.